Imagine building a vault to protect $300 billion in gold, and then designing it so that, ideally, it almost never opens at all. No grand door swinging wide for the cameras. No gold being carried in and out each day. Just a sealed fortress holding an almost unimaginable fortune in near total silence, year after year after year. It sounds completely insane. Why build the greatest treasure room on Earth and then keep it shut? But it turns out to be one of the most brilliant security ideas humans have ever devised, and understanding why reveals a hidden truth about how the world's greatest treasures are really protected. Stay with me, because this changes how you'll think about security forever. First, let's truly grasp what $300 billion in gold actually means, because the number is so large it loses meaning. We are talking about tens of thousands of gold bars, each one individually worth a small fortune, stacked together in a single secured location. The combined weight would be measured in thousands of tons, heavy enough that the floor itself must be engineered to bear a load most buildings could never survive. It is so dense, so heavy, and so staggeringly valuable that the very idea of moving it around regularly is almost laughable. And that single fact is the first clue to the entire mystery. When something is this valuable and this impossibly heavy, the safest thing you can possibly do with it is, quite simply, nothing at all. Here's the core idea that almost no one ever grasps. Every single time treasure moves, it becomes vulnerable. Think about it. Inside a sealed vault, gold is protected by thick walls, massive locks, hidden sensors, and layer upon layer of defense. It is about as safe as anything can be. But the very moment it travels, out in the open, loaded onto a truck, rolling down a road, it is exposed to the world. It can be ambushed, intercepted, or stolen. So the most secure vaults on Earth are built around a philosophy that feels completely backwards at first. The goal isn't to move the gold safely from place to place. The goal is to almost never move it at all. Keep it perfectly still, keep it sealed away, and you eliminate the single greatest risk that gold will ever face in its existence, the journey. But this raises an obvious question. If the gold never comes out, and ownership of it is constantly being bought and sold between banks and nations, how does that actually work? This is the truly genius part. When gold inside these megavaults changes hands, the bars themselves usually don't go anywhere at all. Instead, ownership is updated in secure, carefully guarded records. And at most, the physical bars might be moved just a few feet, from one owner's designated section of the vault into another's, all without ever leaving the building, never seeing daylight, never touching a road. The gold stays frozen in place while vast fortunes change hands invisibly around it. The vault becomes less like a garage where things come and go, and more like a sealed tomb of wealth, where the treasure itself rests completely undisturbed, and only the names attached to it quietly change over the years. Now let's talk about the fortress itself, because the engineering involved is absolutely staggering. These vaults are very often built deep underground, sometimes resting directly upon solid bedrock, chosen because it's strong enough to support the colossal crushing weight of the gold above it. The walls are constructed from steel-reinforced concrete, many feet thick, specifically designed to resist drilling, cutting torches, and even explosives. The main vault door alone can weigh as much as a small truck, an immense slab of hardened steel, and yet it's often balanced so precisely on its hinges that it can be swung with surprising ease before being sealed shut with locking bolts as thick as a human arm. Standing before it, you would feel just how serious the people who built it were about never letting anyone through uninvited. And then there are the defenses you cannot see. the ones that make these vaults nearly impregnable. Hidden layers of sensors that detect the slightest motion, the faintest vibration, and even specific sounds. Systems sensitive enough to feel the tiny tremor of someone attempting to tunnel or drill toward the vault from the outside, long before they could ever get close. Cameras and monitoring stations that never sleep, watched by people who never look away. Some of these vaults are protected by security features so secret that only a tiny handful of individuals fully understand how they all work together. To break in, a thief wouldn't merely have to defeat one clever security system. They would have to defeat dozens of them simultaneously, all interlinked, all watching one another, every single one designed under the cold assumption that someone, someday, somewhere, will absolutely try. But here is the most powerful security feature of them all. And it's the one we keep circling back to, because it's the secret at the heart of everything. Stillness. A vault that rarely, if ever, opens gives potential attackers almost nothing to work with. There are no regular gold shipments to ambush on the road. There is no predictable delivery schedule for criminals to study and exploit. There is no recurring moment of vulnerability when the treasure is out in the open and exposed. The gold simply sits, sealed away in the dark, while the world above goes about its daily business with absolutely no idea of the colossal fortune resting silently beneath their feet. The best way to protect something, it turns out, isn't a bigger gun or a thicker door. It's to make that thing almost impossible to ever reach in the first place. This same fundamental principle, that movement always equals risk, quietly shapes how the world protects its greatest treasures everywhere you look, from gold to cash to priceless jewels and irreplaceable valuables. The instinct of those who guard wealth is always the same. Lock it down, seal it away, and disturb it as little as humanly possible. A treasure that never moves is a treasure that can never be ambushed on the road. A door that almost never opens is a door that is almost impossible to rob. It's a kind of security that doesn't rely on winning a fight, but on making sure the fight never even has the chance to begin. Silence and stillness become a shield stronger than any steel. So the next time you picture a great vault, forget the dramatic movie scenes of masked thieves cracking a safe and hauling glittering gold out into the night. The real masterpiece of security isn't an exciting heist waiting to happen. It's the complete opposite. It's a silent, sealed chamber, resting deep on bedrock, holding hundreds of billions of dollars in gold, built so perfectly and so thoughtfully that its single greatest defense is simply the fact that it stays shut. That is how the world truly protects its most staggering fortunes. Not with constant motion and dramatic convoys, but with near-perfect, patient, unbreakable stillness. The treasure that sleeps is the treasure that survives. If your mind is a little blown by the strange truth that the safest gold on earth is the gold that never moves, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It really does help the channel grow and reach more people who love uncovering how the world really works. And if you want to go deeper into how wealth is truly created, stored, protected, and moved, I've put together a clear and simple guide for you, waiting in the description below. Subscribe to Bullion Lab, where we take you inside how the most valuable things on Earth are made, protected, and moved. Because the most fascinating secrets in the entire world are very often the ones locked quietly, just out of sight.